Netflix has officially won the bidding war for Warner Brothers Discovery. They are entering exclusive deal talks now, but Warner Brothers has went with Netflix. So if it all works out, in which it should, Netflix is going to own Warner Bros. Discovery. Specifically, as far as our fandom is concerned, they're going to get HBO Max and they are going to get DC Studios. So this obviously is incredibly impactful. It's not only impactful for DC Studios, but it's just the whole market of streaming is definitely going to be impacted. Now, this is coming from Deadline, very reputable, giant trade company, giant outlet. And the title of their article reads, Netflix wins bidding war for Warner Bros. Discovery will start exclusive deal talks. The first paragraph reads, Netflix has emerged victorious with what appears to be the highest and so far the winning bid for Warner Bros. Discovery, Deadline has learned, and will start exclusive talks to finalize a deal. This caps a tumultuous day that saw Paramount move aggressively to counter the giant streamer and seal a deal of its own for WBD. Now, right away, let me know what you think about Netflix getting Warner Bros. Discovery, because I've seen a lot of comments about this. Some wanted Paramount Skydance, some wanted Comcast because they're Universal, some wanted Netflix. And there's been a lot of talk about Snyderverse stuff and what is going to happen to James Gunn. And that is kind of our primary concern at this channel, at least for me, because I still am really excited about the new DCU. I can't say I fully enjoyed all of the movies that came from the old DCU, but I did love Henry Cavill as Superman, and I absolutely loved Ben Affleck as Batman. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's going to revert. We've actually heard a few things. We're not sure how true they are because no one really knows what's happening internally. But one thing that we did hear is that Netflix did say they are going to keep theatrical releases, which is a big deal. Obviously, Warner Bros. Has a ton of massive properties. They have Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. There's a ton that they have, and they have everything from DC. So a lot of fans were really worried that if Netflix got Warner Brothers Discovery, nothing would hit theaters. Right? I want to go see a Justice League movie in the theaters. I don't want it to just come out on streaming, right? I enjoy, and I think a lot of people do as well, the movie theater experience. I enjoy the popcorn, the soda, going to it, getting a group of friends going and watching it on a giant screen for the first time. I think a lot of people enjoy that as well. Don't get me wrong. I know there's people out there who would rather just it come to streaming first and watch it, right? It's cheaper if you have a lot of people in your family and you have a lot of friends come over. I totally get it. For me personally, I like to go to the theaters and I want to see the new DCU in theaters. So that was a big concern, but Netflix says they're going to keep that theatric release. They're going to keep that going. And this is going to be pretty big for Netflix because now they just have an entire other streaming service. They're going to have HBO Max, and two, theaters isn't something they, typically do. Sure, they do things like they put K-pop Demon Hunters in theaters, Stranger Things, the finale is going to be in theaters, but they've never done big theatrical releases before. So this is going to be new. But what happens to James Gunn? That's what people want to know. Well, we've heard some reports that whoever would win is going to keep James Gunn on board and just basically continue the DCU. It's a report that we've heard, but at the same time, it's really hard to tell if all of the companies who are bidding all agreed to do that, right? Now, it would make sense because it just started. They just had Superman. We're about to have Supergirl. We're going to get Clayface. Lanterns is coming up. The trailer was shown. Apparently, the trailer was really good. People really liked it. And they have a lot upcoming. And yeah, I think the smartest move would be just to see how that pans out, right? Clearly, there's a giant plan in place for DC Studios. James Gunn, some people think he's the man. Some people think he wasn't the man for the job. But so far, it hasn't been bad. No, Superman didn't do $1 billion. But if you look at the previous Superman films, this new Superman actually did pretty well. And according to some reports from Forbes, it made money, which is what the studios want. And it's the beginning, right? It's the new beginning. We're going to get Batman. We're going to get a new Wonder Woman, a Justice League film. There's a lot that's going to come from this. And I think Netflix will look at that, or just any company in general, I think would look at that and just, say, okay, yeah, I mean, you're doing your thing. We're going to continue to let you do your thing. Now, I will address this, but I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I think it's a small chance that this happens, but there has been a lot of Snyderverse stuff going on. And Zack Snyder's been posting like a lot of photos of, from his Snyderverse, pretty much. He's been posting a lot recently, and a lot of people have been speculating. There's no reports about this, but they've been speculating that, he's very close with Netflix. He did his Rebel Moon movies, and although they weren't that good, he's close with Netflix. And people were speculating, well, maybe if Netflix gets Warner Brothers and DC Studios, they'll restore the Snyderverse. They'll put James Gunn back, and they'll want to bring that back. I don't really see how that happens. And I just don't really see that being a good business move. One, it would be really confusing, right? We previously had the old universe, and then, it's a new one, and then you're going to go back to the old one. And then that's like, okay, would all of the people who are important even come back? Right? Could you get Henry Cavill back as Superman? Would Ben Affleck return as Batman? Would Gal Gadot return as Wonder Woman? And she's been getting kind of a lot of hate recently for her acting. So would people want her to return? Right? There's The Flash, right? Ezra Miller, there's been a lot of, controversy around him as well. So there's a lot of things that I think really would be really hard to restore the Snyderverse. And again, the new DCU has a plan laid out. And a lot of people do trust in James Gunn. So I think that's most likely what's going to happen. We don't know for sure. Nobody knows for sure. What we know right now is Warner Brothers has won, according to Deadline. They state Netflix offered around $28 a share for Warner Brothers Discovery, according to sources, mostly in cash. And we did hear that. We did hear that most of their offer, the previous ones were already for like a majority cash. It's been a fast-moving auction, and one that will reshape the entertainment landscape dramatically. That it will. Warner Brothers Discovery put itself on the block in October to open up the process after receiving 3 consecutive offers from Paramount. Warner has hoped to get a deal in place by mid to late December. So they're trying to move fast on this. Trying to move really fast on this. So it's looking like this is going to happen pretty soon. Like the ownership is going to transfer really, really soon. Right? Like a couple of weeks here when they say mid to late December. So this month, if everything goes according to plan, that's what's going to happen. So they also did say Netflix would acquire Warner Brothers Studios and HBO Max streaming assets. Paramount's offer was for all of Warner Brothers Discovery. So it doesn't seem like Netflix gets everything. They only bid for Warner Bros. Studios and HBO Max, which is also DC Studios. And they say Bloomberg is reporting that Netflix offered a $5 billion breakup fee if the deal fails to close. So that could be for either side, right? If Netflix backs out, they got to pay $5 billion. If Warner Brothers backs out, they got to pay $5 billion. So they can back out. It's a hefty fee, a lot of money, hefty fee. But it does seem like it's all in place. And according to this report, Warner Bros. Is like, ready to go. Let's get everything done. Let's sign everything. Cross the T's, dot the I's. And yeah, and honestly, since it seems really official now, obviously, since they've accepted the bid and they're just working out the details now, the sooner the better, so we can actually see what's going on, how they're going to run everything, right? What happens to DC Studios? What happens to HBO Max? What happens with everything, right? So the sooner they finalize everything, the sooner we're going to start to get information on everything that is happening. But this is big. This is indeed going to change the industry. And actually, Paramount, it goes on to say later on in this article, Paramount goes on to say, well, first of all, it seems like they're very bitter, right? They put a lot of bids in for Warner Brothers Discovery, and they didn't get it. And, they claim that, some people were being unfair, and they're saying that, Netflix, since it's the biggest streamer, them acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery actually might not sit too well, and they might not let them do it, because they might be too much of a conglomerate. They might own too much, might have too much of a monopoly of the industry. But as of right now, this seems to be it. This seems to be it. And who knows what's in store? I would like to think that probably James Gunn just stays put and Netflix says, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We'll assess in a few years. If it starts to go terribly bad, they'll assess and they'll figure out what to do from there. But it happened. Let me know what you think about it. It's big. This is really big. I mean, they're going to get Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC Studios. They're going to get so much. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because if we hear anything else about this, we'll do a ton of updates on it. The more we hear, the more we find out. And of course, try to update on what's going to happen to DC Studios. So be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.